Gethsemane, Capernaum, and many other places in the Holy Land saw the presence of Jesus, places where he manifested one of the themes addressed by Pope Francis in his 2018 catechesis, the man who prays. According to the Gospel, in an effort to follow the example of the Master, the disciples made him a request: "Lord, teach us to pray," as John did with his followers. Jesus' answer was the prayer of Our Father, which the liturgical tradition of the Church has preserved in the text reported by the evangelist St. Matthew.
Ma una cosa particolare che viene ancora sottolineata dagli evangelisti sembra che Gesù.
One particular thing that is stressed by the evangelists is that it seems that Jesus, in his normal life, in his life as a rabbi, preacher, announcer of the good news, loved to find an intimate communion with the Father, as if he always needed to maintain that union, that intimacy with the Father.
Avesse sempre bisogno di mantenere quell'unione, quella comunione, quella intimità con il Padre.
Jesus used to pray actively as he testified to the crowds. On the public life of Christ, the pontiff reports in his catechesis that at dusk a crowd of sick people came to the door of the house of Jesus, and the Pope emphasizes that the crowd is still small compared to the many others who gathered around the prophet of Nazareth. At times it was oceanic crowds. A good part of these events mentioned by the Pope and narrated in the Gospels happened in the city of Capernaum in Galilee.
E dunque sappiamo che a Cafarno c'è la casa della suocera di Pietro in cui appunto Gesù viene ospitato. Cafarno è un po' una città che è sulle sponde.
We know that in Capernaum there is the house of Peter's mother-in-law in which Jesus is hosted. Capernaum is a city that is located on the shores of Lake Tiberias, where there was more ease of movement. It was a bit like a station where the boats could move more easily, and therefore they could move in the neighboring cities, in the neighboring countries with more ease. That's why Jesus didn't move, people came to him. And we know that in the evening at the door they waited for him and then he cured them, thus performing many miracles.
Ma le persone vengono a lui e si sa appunto che alla sera alla porta lo attendono e poi però lui, dopo averli guariti, e c'è notato appunto che compie molti miracoli.
Jesus prayed intensely in public moments, sharing the liturgy among his people, but at the same time he sought secluded places, far from the confusion of the world, places that would allow him to enter into the secret of his soul. He is the prophet who knows the stones of the desert and climbs to the tops of the mountains, says the Pope. Jesus had an intimacy with the Father. He did nothing for himself. He talked about everything with God. Even in his agony, when he was sweating blood at Gethsemane before being arrested, he withdrew from his disciples to pray to the Father.
Nella località appunto poco fuori da Gerusalemme, ai piedi diciamo del Monte degli Olivi, e ci troviamo appunto
Here we are in Gethsemane, in a place just outside Jerusalem, at the foot of the Mount of Olives, and behind me is the garden, the sacred garden. Here he shows his descent into our humanity. If in the rest of the Gospel the divinity of Jesus is narrated and expressed through miracles, his powerful word, his authority, here he shows his humanity.
La sua parola potente, la sua autorità, qui mostra la sua umanità.
Let us pray to the Father as Christ taught us.